This is the Empowered Hour for Soul Sister. I'm Nicole Levy, Theta Healing Practitioner and creator of Soul Sister, and I have with me my freaking amazing, fabulous bestie. This is my sister, y'all. This is Sarah, aka Moon Mama.
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
How are we?
Yay! Y'all, I'm so excited. As y'all know, my creation's called Soul Sister, and I really love the way that it invites in sisters and brothers from around the world, right? And we can show up as our authentic self, and who better to show up with than my freaking sister? Like, this is my boo. We've been through a lot in life because we come through this from the same family. So I just want to hop on, and we're going to talk a little bit today about navigating the new normal. I'm really excited, right? I get a lot of kind of questions, and I'm sure Sarah does as well, about kind of what we're going through, right? Like 2020 and 2021 have been such a life-changing, we'll say,
Yes.
in the best of ways, for everyone, right? Whether that's shifting of jobs, or maybe you're staying home and working, or you're just thinking about things in a different way, right? This time in the collective is really here. I know it can feel like a little pinch pointy or a little hard, but it's really here, guys, to help us, to look a little bit deeper at things, to look at ourselves, and to give us time to really reflect on what we want, right? And so Moon Mama and I talk about this often, like the new normal, right? Because it's very different from masks that we've, been encouraged to wear or had to wear, to shifting of jobs, to moving. A lot of people are moving right now. So we just wanted to hop on, and we want to do some theta for you guys and just talk about the new normal. How do you navigate that? What that looks like for you guys, and just kind of empower you to be in that space and to really to use it to your highest and best good. Okay, I digress. What I really want to spotlight is my beautiful sister. I want her to tell us a little bit about her amazing journey. So, Moon Mama, the floor is yours.
Oh, well, thank you.
Welcome.
I'm so glad to be here, guys. This is awesome. I'm all about us all empowering each other right now. There's so much going on. We need our community. We need our sisters and brothers. So, I am honored to be here. I appreciate it. So, just a tiny bit about me. I'll just give you a little bit. It's, a whole shebang. But actually, right before the end of 2019, I kind of hit the beginning of what I'd like to call one of my dark nights of the souls. So, I was called one day. I worked 9 to 5. I was miserable. I, of course, was making good money, but I knew I wanted more in life, you guys. Every day, it just got harder and harder for me to pretend like this was me showing up as my authentic self. So I woke up one day, I received a channel message to quit my 9 to 5. Granted, I have a toddler. I am a single mom, so it's a whole nother layer to it. I had no plan, and I followed that message. And here I am. Not really, but that really brought me to a raw and vulnerable space in my life where I kind of was just like, who am I? What do I really want to do? What have I been fed? What's actually me? So as hard as it was, you guys, it was such a blessing, and I'm so grateful because I allowed myself to seriously start over and to really dive into the layers of who I am, who I wasn't, what I was holding on to. I'd struggled for anxiety and depression for almost 13 years. I had tried all the therapies. I've tried all the modern ways of doing it, and this lovely, beautiful soul of mine, I'm so glad we incarnated together, she showed me Theta Healing, and really from there, we kind of just flew. We've learned really through each other more than anything, I think, really learning our gifts, what God gave us, and we've just kind of grown from there. So I'm kind of at a space now where, I've got my own brand, she's got her own brand, and I work with several modalities. So I do Theta Healing as well as intuitive guidance. I also read tarot, so energy healing, chakra healing, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about me. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah.
Awesome. So we want to take you guys through, we want to talk a little bit about the new normal first, and then we'll take you guys through some Theta Healing. So Sarah, tell me, I call her Belle, guys. That's my nickname for her because her middle name's Michelle, so it's Michelle Belle. So talk me through a little bit like how 2020 and 2021 have like changed for you specifically.
Yeah, so
if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So I'd say one of the hardest things for me to work through with this transition and this new normal for myself was really working through that mind frame of the hustle, right? That hustle mentality, you guys. I was worked into it too, right? Like I said, I'm a single mom. I had the, money was on my mind. I have to support. I have to do this. I have to do this for everybody else, right? So it was really easy to get caught up in that hustle mentality of like more, what's next? But I was never satisfied, right? So the slowing down part has been a huge transition for me, right? I still constantly have to remain aware and present with the fact that like some of my days look like doing absolutely nothing, but that doesn't mean I'm not accomplishing anything, right? I'm taking in self-love, I'm taking care of myself or my son. But yeah, I'd say that's probably one of the biggest things that I still am consciously remaining aware with is that it's okay to have a slow lifestyle, because I feel now that I'm in this space that I can receive, right? That I'm getting so much more fulfillment and joy out of life, doing what I'm actually called to do, taking my time, taking care of myself, because you can't give to others from an empty cup, and that's been a hard lesson for me as a mama and a friend and a sister, right? But really learning that, and you guys, at the same time, we have society telling us we're getting there, we're working through it, but society tells us to do that, to work more, to do more, to get more, to achieve more. So it's hard to go against the grain and kind of do the opposite, but it's been really rewarding and satisfying and fulfilling for me to find a new normal for myself. So
awesome.
Yeah. How about you?
And thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I kind of want to speak on that real quick on something Sarah said because it really resonated with me. And I'm going to share this. It's like a little tidbit of intuitive guidance. Like, guys, look at COVID, right? The world essentially shut down. And so Sarah and I really tried to both, and we have to hold each other to this and hold each other accountable because it's hard to see sometimes. God or creator or whoever your higher power is doesn't do things to be malicious, right? They're not a kid in the sky with a magnifying glass on an anthill trying to burn it down.
No.
God gives you opportunities, or life or creator or universe gives you opportunities to help you grow, to evolve. And part of the blessings of COVID, guys, even though it's been very different, right, and hard in some cases, in many cases, part of the gift of COVID has been to slow down, to stop spending all this time. We're from Houston, right? So we can spend a ton of time in traffic, sitting in traffic on the way to work, on the way home from work. Granted, Sarah and I don't have that anymore because we're entrepreneurs, but part of that gift of COVID has been to not have to go into the office, to be in your PJs. You don't have to spend the time getting ready or putting on this, like, what I like to call a mask.
Right.
And you get to show up as you are, right, on video calls. Right. You get to slow down and, like, take time with your family and cook at home when we haven't had, places have been shut down for restaurants. Absolutely. So what I challenge you guys to do, and what Sarah said earlier, is to really slow down and bring it back to self. Take the time, even though sometimes it's uncomfortable, to sit by ourselves or to not be in that hustle and flow. Let's sit back and sit down and be in this space of like receiving and enjoying life and like taking a bath in the morning. Like, you don't have to wait till the night to take a bath. Right. Like, take a bath in the morning. Get up and do your favorite yoga or experience. So I think for me, COVID's really shifted that perspective. Like, oh, life isn't how we perceived it to be, right? It's very different. Yeah. It can be different. Sometimes we're not aware of that unless we have that perspective in life. So I feel like it's such a blessing, y'all, that that the universe has given us that opportunity. Yeah. So that's been a big takeaway from me specifically. I've also I'm a connection person. My sister will tell you that through and through. I love people, and I love hugging people and like just being around people. And so that's been a big shift for me, like not having connection as readily available, right? And it's also, I'm going to admit this because we're being super vulnerable here.
Yes.
It's been challenging for me, and I've had to look at a lot of like wounds, like, man, why do I need this other connection so much? Why can't I sit in a space by myself and be meditate or be quiet and quiet my mind. And there's a lot of stuff that came up, y'all, that needed to be healed. And so this journey isn't always comfortable.
No, it's not.
But as we talk about, like, it doesn't get easier, we just get stronger, right? Like, like Sarah said, she has many modalities that she works with. We have a lot more things at our disposal these days via the internet, via people in our experience. We have meditation and theta and tarot. We have our spiritual practices. We have a lot more of an abundant society, y'all, than we did 10, 20, 30 years ago, right? And so that's just such a blessing. So grateful.
Yeah, and if I may, me and Nick have this thing we like to do, because when we started this journey together, right, so like she's saying, it was very raw, very vulnerable, and that can feel really like, we call it the newborn baby phase, okay? Like, you birthed out it, but you're like, oh my God, what now? Like, who am I? I got rid of all these things I wasn't, or what, but now what? Now what am I? And that's really uncomfortable sometimes. So what we did, what we challenged each other, and we still do, is start a list. And I don't care how small it is, and like, just literally, if anything in your day in this new normal brings you joy, put it on that list. So we started with making our tea at night, the ritual of washing my face in the morning, choosing to take a bath at night when I'm feeling stressed, whatever it is, doing a tarot reading, like, add to that list. And I promise you, we go back to our list now, and when you're feeling like, like, kind of stuck, like, I have nothing, I got rid of everything, and you're kind of in your humanness, which is totally normal, and it's okay. But we take a step back, and we go back to our list of our gratitude, and we're like, oh, wow, okay, these are a couple things that bring me joy. I can choose to do those right now, or I can just bask in the moment that is. Oh, I do have things to be grateful for, right? Like, so that's been a great tool, I think, for us, that I wanted to share, just in case it helps any of you, because we totally understand, guys. Like she said, it can be uncomfortable. It's a newborn baby phase. It's like getting rid of so many things that were like your security blanket, right? Like your comfort space. And especially with COVID, right? Not having relationships, or figuring out how to do relationships in a new way. Yeah. It's a lot, so.
Well, and guys, we'll save this for another episode, because I could go into 10 hours on this topic. So the biggest blessing, one of the biggest blessings, I'll say, because I don't want to make it the biggest blessing, but one of the biggest blessings with Bella and I is that we're sisters, right? So we've seen each other from when she was a newborn. I held her, right, when I was 6. So we've had the blessing to grow up and see each other change, and we've also come from the same family of origin, right? So we know things that, we've talked about things that trigger us. We've talked about trauma in our lives and things that have happened in our childhood, right? So when you're growing up, part of your soul evolution is figuring out what truly is yours and what is other people's, right? We grew up in a household, and I love my parents to death, but we grew up in a household that our parents are very successful and they're very driven, right? That doesn't serve Belle and I anymore to be that way, right? We are here to show people a different way, and to show people a very self-love and self-worth oriented mentality of life, where everything comes from self-love, right? And a hustle mentality for us, for our experience, is not relevant, right? So we're in a flow mentality. We do things like self-love, and that's going to bring us greater abundance. So a lot of that, making the list, like Sarah was saying, is bringing it back and figuring out, and you don't have to do this right now. It can be a process of discovery.
Absolutely.
It's figuring out what makes you happy, right? Yeah. I have a bowl of pho on my list. Veggie pho. There's this one place in town, and that's what makes me happy, and I love it. Or doing breath work with my sister, right? That makes us happy. So it's, as you're experiencing these things in life, and maybe they're going outside and finding a flower you love, or finding a park by your house that you love, or a tea that you like, or a drink that you like. Put those things, when you discover them, on that list, and give yourself that grace and that kind of that win, right? That positive element to show you what you love in the new normal. And it's just that, when you bring it back to gratitude, guys, you don't have a lack situation. You don't have a lack experience where you get down on yourself and you let that mental body spiral. My life is so shitty, blah, blah, blah. Life is not that way if you can control that mental chatter and bring it back to self. man, I have this, amazing sisterhood. I have this new company I've started. I love my tea. I love pho. Like, there's just so many good things, and you can be in that space when you bring it back to gratitude. So,
and if I may, on that,
please.
I think me and Nick constantly remind each other, again, we're each other's accountability partners a lot of times through this because we're human. Okay, so we do want to differentiate between, because I know it can be really frustrating with this whole toxic positivity thing. That's not what we're trying to sell here, trust me. We're not trying to sell anything. But, girl, we do not subscribe, okay? Because we've been around that our entire lives, and it's triggering, and we're no more, okay? But there's a difference in... You've got to feel the emotion. So let me start by saying what you're feeling is valid. It's okay to say, I'm fucking annoyed because this, and this. I'm a newborn baby and I just want to be a grown-up. Like, whatever you need to feel, please, by all means, feel it, babe. Yeah. However, we don't allow ourselves to get stuck in it, okay? Sure. So we have like a 24-hour policy or whatever for the day. It could be longer than that, boo. Do you. Yeah. But I'll say, okay, friend, can you check in like 48 hours and make sure I'm not sulking on the couch still? Like, I need a day or so. Please let me feel it. Don't knock on my door. But, it's the not getting stuck in it part, you guys, because that's when you really start to, especially with our belief work, we truly believe that's when you start to recreate it in your life. That's when you can't get out of that, stuck mentality and back to gratitude. Like, okay, what was that trying to teach me? Why is that happening for me? Because nothing is ever happening to you. That's called being a victim. And it's very easy to do in this society. I've been a victim my entire life. I'm a recovering victim, okay? I feel you. But I choose now to not get stuck in it, and I move forward, and I'm telling you, that's where the flow of life comes, because that's, like she's saying, you manifest your beliefs, your subconscious beliefs create your reality, right? So, that's a good reminder I like to always keep at the forefront. Don't shame or guilt or be mad at yourself for feeling, you guys. We're humans. We are literally feeling beings. Yeah. But we are just, I think that's another part of the new normal now is learning how to move through emotions, not popping a pill, not chugging a beer, which, girl, do you. Sometimes you just need a fucking beer. I'm right there with you. Hello. But we don't allow ourselves to cope and ignore, I feel through my shit, and then I can be like, all right, good job, girl. Let's go have a beer, right? Like, I don't use it like I used to very heavily. I'm very open about that. I used to cope with my anxiety and depression through drugs, alcohol, all the above, you know what I mean? I didn't know how. I didn't feel I was taught or was in a society, and I was in a lot of relationships that only mirrored that. I had to be stuck in it. I got to stay stuck in the depression. I am depressed. I have anxiety. Anxiety is me, right? Like, I held on to that belief, but I no longer choose to do that, right? So that's another thing for me, for my new normal, for sure, is allowing myself to feel. Like, girl, you're good. Feel it out. Cry it out. Scream it out. Rage. Do what you got to do. And then, okay, now what, right?
Yeah. And you bring up a great point, Belle. So she talked about this earlier, but I just want to drive this point home, especially for people like me that crave connection, right? Your support, whether that's a sister, whether that's a best friend, whether that's a parent, whether that's community, that is key, right? Yes. Like, doing that, like, having that person that you can call, like, I know when I call Belle and I'm like, dude, today's a shitty day, I'm feeling like my old trauma's coming up from childhood, like, she will not judge me, and I know that, right? And we're very forward in our authenticity. You need people like that, like, whether it's a spouse or a sister, or find someone in your community who like ascribes to like liking tarot and you like tarot, right? Find a commonality and build that trust and rapport, because those types of community in your tribe is what's gonna really help you through these times, right? We tend to think, and I know like Belle and I talk about this all the time, you can get in your head and be like, no one feels like me, I can't relate to anybody, I'm all alone, right? And you're not. Like, you're so deeply not. Even if your tribe, right, guys, is this soul sister or moon mama community, there is people who love you for exactly who you are, who you can ask, like, hey, Belle, check in with me in 72 hours. Just having a rough week. And then she can be like, how can I support you? Right. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just a text in the morning being like, hey, you're a badass queen. I love you. Period. Which she does all the time.
Yes, I do.
So that's the new normal, guys, is like support, like sisterhood. Like, agreed. We can be so hermiting and like, I don't need anybody.
There it is.
Yeah.
The ultra independence, girl. No more.
It
doesn't serve.
Yeah.
And we're still badass bitches on our own. That doesn't mean we cannot do it by ourselves. We choose to have human connection and choose to use our resources. What is that, right? Like, what is stopping you from being able to receive the help and the support? Because we're meant to be community. We're humans, right? Like, great point. I love that.
Thanks, friend.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything else you feel called to say, like, before we do our empowerment theta?
I think this is like the perfect time to jump in. Like, let's see what wants to come through for so your following's pretty, they know all about theta healing and stuff. We don't need to touch on the basis. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Let's just do the 3 basic beliefs in case we have any new people, like either through Moon Mama or through Soul Sister or whoever's called to see this, right? Because if you're called to see it, you're supposed to see it.
Thanks, God.
I love her wink. That was adorable. Okay, so let's do the 3 basic beliefs. Okay. So they are, I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible. Theta healing is a permission-based modality, so you have to say yes out loud to receive the healings and to let your subconscious know you're ready to shift. Woo! Yeah. So if you want those 3 basic beliefs, just say yes. I'm going to have Belle cue us.
Yes.
All right. Beautiful. So, Belle is a tarot queen. I love tarot too, but I'm going to ask her if she will pull a couple cards for us.
Absolutely.
Just to kind of give us like an overall theme of what we need to shift.
All right. So I'm just going to ask that whatever needs to be seen, heard, and healed at this exact moment for the general collective for you guys, that it comes through.
Yeah. And I just have to say, my sister just dyed her hair pink, and I just got to see it, and I kind of freaked out because she looks fucking amazing.
Just showing up as my authentic self, y'all, okay?
Maybe that's your new normal, pink hair.
Why not?
You're welcome.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Ooh, okay.
Just jumping
She
out.
ready.
Hey, girl.
Okay. So let's do it. So...
We're both like, yes.
Okay, queen.
Yes.
All right, so we're starting out, guys, with the initiation. Look at that.
So
okay,
beautiful.
I love these cards.
Same.
Rite of passage, crossing the threshold, okay? Followed by Imrama. Beautiful. This is where are you being called to journey to? Hello to the new normal. That's where. And then we have Anna, grandmother of Jesus. Jesus. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
And this is Seeding the Light, Laying Foundations, Divine Plan. Hello, Spirit, come through.
Seriously. Y'all, those cards are so gorgeous.
I love them.
So many pinks and blues and really healing
for
colors.
sure. Right after this. This to me is like the 2020 card, right? Like we had to, crumble a little foundation situation. Okay?
I love that. And then you get a glimpse of like what's to come, right? So what wasn't working and now what's supposed to be coming in for everybody's highest and best good.
That's right.
Because Creator only does that, y'all. Whatever, it can feel really uncomfortable, but how many times in your life have you reflected back and you're like, man, that was a shitty time. But then it's like the biggest blessing. Because you're like, if I would have stayed with that person, I would have been miserable.
Hello.
If I would have stayed with that job, I would have been miserable.
Hello.
So that's part of the new normal, right? Shifting out of what doesn't serve into what does.
And trusting divine orchestration. I like to remind my viewers, our little human pea brains can only tell us so much, okay? There's always a divine plan at play, and when you really learn to trust that, it just starts flowing in, you guys, I'm telling you. And I know that's easier said than done, boo. I hear you.
Y'all know that little emoji that's like, preach?
Yes.
Like, that's how I feel right now, like, the whole time. Sister T, preach.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, so I'm going to invite Belle and I, because we both do Theta, just to channel, right? And so let's go up and just ask what's in everybody's highest and best good, and we'll start shifting.
Okay.
See you in a sec. So first I want to get Creator's definition and alignment with like what the new normal is, right? We're kind of in, like Belle was saying, like a newborn or like a baby deer phase where you're like, do these legs work? What's happening? Yeah. So let's get Creator's definition and that you're in alignment and how it's serving you to move forward from where we're at into the new normal, right?
Let's remove the free-floating memory from the original event. that prevents us from embracing the transition into the new normal, okay? And let's remove the free-floating memory from the original event that resulted in the obligation to be afraid, fearful, anxious, worried about transitioning into a new normal, okay?
Let's change what prevents us from knowing, like, this is a divine plan, right? This Anna, Grandmother of Jesus card, like, this is a divine plan. This is divinely orchestrated. And I also want to change what prevents us from feeling safe and secure and held and supported in that energy, right? When our brains see something that's unknown, it can tell you so many stories. Like, oh my God, the world's ending. Oh my God, apocalypse.
It's trying to protect you.
Yeah.
Thank you, brain.
Yeah, and ego.
And ego.
But creator of the universe, like, there's such a divinely orchestrated plan right now. So let's change what prevents us from knowing, seeing, and believing that the divine plan is working out for our highest and best good.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and also shift the belief that it is safe and possible to trust the divine orchestration. And let's shift the belief that it is safe and possible to move into a new normal, however that looks for you, whatever serves your highest good, right?
Let's change. I want to change what obligates us to hold on to, if it's consciously or unconsciously, in our bodies, any stuff that's coming up right now, right? That's wanting to be purged. Resentment, grief, the energy of change, old trauma, old belief systems, old identities, right? There's stuff that's being released right now that no longer serves us, but we want to change what prevents that from being released in the highest and best way for us individually, right?
And then let's delete any neural pathways, this is in your brain if you're not familiar, that are currently attached to holding on to any resistance to these new changes for whatever serves your highest and best good. And then in turn, let's also create a new neural pathway that is rooted in deep inner knowing and ancient wisdom that divine orchestration is always at play, okay?
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's, I want to change any obligation to hold on to any distrust in creator or the universe, whether that's from religious conditioning or the thought that, like, societal belief, or like the thought that, like, God's out to get you or punish you or the universe doesn't have your back. Like, I want to just change what prevents us from releasing that, and then I want to change an obligation to do that. Let's also forgive ourselves, creator, and then anybody else who we've had those experiences or misunderstanding with in a past life or a current lifetime. And let's also, I want to change what obligates us to feel like we're stuck in any way, because I'm hearing that, like, oh my gosh, like, I feel these changes, but then I'm stuck in this energy. So let's just change what obligates us to be stuck in, like, transformation, or stuck in our own energy, or stuck in our shit, right? Like, because that can happen. Girl, like, we're human. So sometimes I'm just like, I just want to throw a tantrum. I'm 35, but I do.
A full-blown one.
You're welcome. And usually she helps me. So she's like, breathe, it's okay. It's okay. So we're going to just change what obligates us to be in that energy, to be stuck in that energy, to feel stuck, right? Stuck in life or stuck in the old, because a new age is trying to be birthed, right? That's what's trying to happen. So, and let's get alignment with that new age, right? We said alignment with the new normal, but let's just, I want Creator to put this unconditionally loving vibe in ourselves to really just give us this peace and this love and, like, bring us back to our innate wisdom. Like, when you go out into a field and it's just empty and you're around nature, you know that everything's going to be okay. So that's what Creator is going to lovingly download us with at a cellular level of our bodies. So if you want all that, just say yes out loud. You want to cue us, Belle?
Yes.
Ooh, thank you. I'd like to do a heartbreak repair for any times that maybe we went through trauma or a transformation and it hurt us, right? That deep heartbreak energy. I want to clear that out from any past lives or this life. I also want to do a soul retrieval to call back any lost pieces of our soul or any lost pieces of our power, right? Because sometimes when we're in dynamics with other people, whether it's our parents or siblings or spouse or friends, we unwillingly and unknowingly and sometimes unconsciously give away pieces of ourselves. So I just want to call back any of that energy into our soul, to the pieces of our soul and to our power. And then I want to give back any pieces of our energy or soul or power. I'm sorry, not power. That belongs to other people.
Yeah, and let's also on that, let's cut any karmic ties, cords, vows, contracts, tethers.
All that stuff.
Yeah, with any past people, places, things, experiences, emotions, resistance,
Girl,
any
bye.
of that
Girl,
is
bye.
time. Okay, girl?
Bye.
We don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Shake it off. Okay?
I love it. Also, to piggyback on what you said, I'd also like to, and I hear this a lot, guys, so I feel creators like nudging me to give this forward, right? I want to change what obligates us to believe, think, or feel that our power can be taken from us. Like, y'all, we automatically shift into victim when we think that, oh, I'm an empath, like, I can feel everything and I can give my power away. No, if you consent to giving your power away, or you think or believe that you can, you will, right? And guys, we've done these healings so many times.
Yep.
Being an empath means you can just have empathy.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you're giving away pieces of yourself or taking on anybody's energy. I can still be empathic and not be an empath, right?
Boundaries.
So, yes. So let's change what obligates us to lack boundaries.
Yes.
Let's change what obligates us to be empathic at our detriment.
Yes.
Let's change what obligates us to give away our power. Let's change what obligates us to identify or have any attachment to being an empath or taking on people's energy or taking on things that are not ours, right?
Nope.
Belle and I just shifted this, and
Girl, all the time.
This is good stuff, Creator.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So then let's download Creator's definition of what actually being empathic means, what that looks like, what it feels like, that it's safe, that it's possible, and how to do it differently moving forward in this new normal, guys. Because like she's saying, it's really easy to say, I'm an empath. Oh, okay, so I just feel everybody's shit. No, you can say, I am an empathic human being, which is a beautiful thing. That means you're kind. That means you can tap into people's understanding what they're feeling, right? And be supportive, hold space for. But you must have boundaries. So let's also download Creator's definition of what healthy boundaries look like, feel like, that they're safe, that they're possible, and how to do them differently, you guys. That's a big one because I know a lot of us were not raised knowing boundaries, okay, with parents, with anything. And it's so when you're not, it's like, it's a bit much to do it. But we like to remind each other on that note, guys, boundaries do not have to be assertive or aggressive, right? Boundaries can just be like, hey, I don't have the capacity to hold space for you right now. So could we meet this conversation at a different time, right? Like, they can be soft. They can be, you can still be empathic with boundaries, right?
Yeah.
So,
and let's just change on that note. Beautiful stuff. Let's change what obligates us to, like, believe, think, or feel that boundaries mean being aggressive. Like a distorted masculine element. Like, I have to be a bitch or be mean or be degrading. Like, you can have compassion and have strong boundaries, right? Let's also change what prevents us from showing up in our truth, the truth of who you are. If you want to show up with your pink hair and you want to do tarot and you want to do all these amazing things, fucking show up like that, right?
Yes.
If you want to show up with a baseball cap and you want to show up in your Yankees jersey, like,
come through.
do it. Yeah,
Yes.
like, just, I want to change what prevents us from showing up as our authentic self in all your glory.
Yes.
And then I want to also get Creator's definition of, like, what that looks like. Like, I know people have told you, your parents have told you, society's told you, be this, be the strong wife, be the one who has, you know, that's the perfect mom, or has this job, or does this. No, guys, everybody has their own path.
Yep.
So let's change what obligates you to show up in a way that others put on you, that society's put on you, that you've grown up with from childhood conditioning or anything like that. And then let's change what prevents you from showing up as authentically yourself.
Yes. Regardless of how other people, places, things, or experiences receive or respond or react to it, okay?
Yes, queen.
Because that's none of your business. Be you. That's it.
Insert Kermit the Frog meme. I'm just
Period.
sipping my tea.
Okay.
Sipping my tea.
Sips up.
You're welcome. Oh, I love this girl so much.
I love you.
Thank you. Okay, what else? Let's see. I want to get Crater's definition of empowerment, like, right? What that looks like.
Yeah.
I want to get Crater's definition of self-accountability,
Mm-hmm.
of autonomy and authenticity,
Of abundance.
of sovereignty, of liberation, where you can be in your space, guys, and it doesn't mean that you're going into a hermit mode.
Right.
It means that you take your power back, that you speak your truth, that you have boundaries, and that you move forward.
Right.
And in a joyful way in life.
Right. And
Right?
Nick she always reminds me, you guys, lost my train of thought there.
It's okay.
Which is good, because that means it's not meant to come out right now. So moving on.
Divine timing.
Hello.
Let's get Crater's definition of divine timing, right?
Yeah.
Because I know this new normal is going to take time, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. I know that's a dumb
Yes.
saying. But Crater can't undo all the stuff that's been done in a day or a year or 2 years,
Right.
guys. It's a journey, just
Yeah.
like life is, just like this journey is, this
Yeah.
spiritual journey. So let's get Crater's definition of divine timing, of life as a journey, of how your journey unfolds. Right? And that let's change what prevents us from knowing that everything is happening for our highest and best good in divine timing.
Yes.
Including the pandemic, the new normal, guys, and just life in general.
Yeah.
What is this bullshit about us having to have life all figured out at 20 or 30 or 50?
What?
Like, life is a journey.
Hello.
You come here to experience life and to live your best life and to live in the highest and best way that you know how.
And it's enjoying every moment. It's not the achievement base of like, oh, I will be happy when I get here. Oh, I will be this when I get here. No, it's when you learn to enjoy this present moment, whether that's sitting on the couch binging a Netflix show, because sometimes we just need to do that, whether that's pulling a tarot card, whether that's a new business, whatever it is, it's learning how to enjoy that present moment. And earlier what I was going to say that just came back to me, guys, boundaries are like flexing a muscle. She tells me this all the time. Keep doing it. I know the first time is going to feel extremely uncomfortable. You might even go, sometimes for me, I go into fight or flight if it's with specific people that I tried to do it with before, aka parents or whoever for you. Sometimes at first it can be a little scary. I go into fight or flight sometimes and I have to calm myself and I'm like, I'm safe. Like, nothing's going to happen, right? But my brain's like, what are you doing, you know?
Yeah.
It's flexing a muscle, and the more you do it, the stronger the muscle gets. So
Beautiful.
you're not alone in the fact that it can feel a little scary. So
We're with you.
yeah, I also want to, something you said, I want to remove the free-floating memory from the original event that results in the obligation to compare your new normal to someone else's. You guys, like we're saying, we are all supposed to have a different journey. That's the beauty of this melting pot of humanity, right? All this like, ooh, fit in a box. I think we're all realizing that's not working, right? Look how that's happening right now. We're getting rid of all that, okay? So let's embrace that everybody's different and we can all learn from each other's journeys, right? It's not meant to be like, oh my God, she's 30 and isn't married. Yes, bitch, and I'm happy as fuck. What? What? Are you happy? Are you? I'm just asking. You tell me, bro.
She just side-eyed y'all.
I did. Okay.
No judgment.
No.
We're just here.
No, I just want everyone to be happy, right? So stop pointing the finger, everyone comparing. Like, let's all be happy for each other and with ourselves. That starts within.
Absolutely.
Okay?
And let's this just got me thinking. Let's or got creators juices flowing. Let's change what prevents us from knowing, seeing, and believing that everybody's on their journey.
Yes.
That life is a destination or a journey, excuse me.
Yes.
And I want to get creators discernment on definitions of journey and destination, right? Because it's no longer like a destination. It's a journey.
Right.
And it's meant to be enjoyed.
Yes.
Let's also change what prevents the journey from being just like juicy, like enjoy,
delicious.
Yeah, like full of joy and wonder. And you can still have your bad days, right? Like we said, we are not toxic positivity people.
What?
No.
No.
So let's do that. If you guys would like that, just say yes out loud.
Yes.
Yeah. Best keyword ever. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Creator wants to do a so your pineal gland is right between your eyebrows, and that is where your part of your truth and your third eye is held, right? So Creator wants to do a decalcification and an optimization of your third eye, because Creator's like, guys, you always have your knowing. Like, you never leave your knowing. Your knowing's always going to be with you. You just have to tap into it. And I want to change what prevents us from tapping into our knowing. Right? Like girl, I know. It's that little feeling in your gut that's like, hey, I don't know why I don't like this person, but something's off.
Right.
Or I don't know why I'm not supposed to be here, and then something happens and you leave, right? So like, let's get Creator's definition of like tapping into your knowing, that you're in alignment with that. I want to change what obligates you to question your knowing, because you know.
You do.
Like, trust that little niggle, trust that gut feeling. And let's get Creator's download of the mental body, like this, like overthinking or this spiraling, analytical, like ego perception. Like, don't do that. I've been here before and it's bad. Alert, right? Versus like this true like alignment in your soul, like where your third eye and your gut knowing is connected, and you're like, not for me. I'm not gonna do that.
Let's get discernment on both of those.
Yeah.
So you're always knowing.
Absolutely, because that's part of the new normal, guys.
Right.
We always intuitively know what's best for us. Our highest self is always looking out for us and trying to help us evolve.
Yes.
And let's get Creator's definition of that, like of your higher self. That's really like tied into your knowing and tied into the best for you. Let's change what prevents us from being in our knowing at all times, in connection with our higher selves.
Yes. And let's also do a throat and a soul star chakra clearing, upgrade, and realignment to serve your new normal. New normal. Your new normal. Woo! Welcome back to 3D, Sarah. Here we are.
Words,
okay, sorry.
So I'm going to let Sarah do this one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, if you guys would like all of that, let me get a yes.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful, guys. So all I saw was this big bird, like wings expanding off into the new. So I don't know if that's about freedom or what, but yes, boo, fly, please.
Let's change what prevents us from taking flight and moving forward into the new normal. Let's change what prevents us from being supported by our wings. Whether that's tied into like ourself and our spirit or Creator, the knowing that we have everything we need, y'all. That's what the new normal is about, is that self-accountability.
Right.
Let's get Creator's definition, and that we're in alignment with self-accountability, how it serves us, that it's safe and possible, what it looks and feels like, and that we can do it in the beautiful way moving forward with ease and grace and flow and fluidity. I want to change what obligates us to resist this ease and grace and flow, y'all. This is an abundant space. No longer are we in lack. Like,
no.
You know what I mean?
And let's remove on that. Let's remove the free floating memory from the original event that prevents each of us from being open to receiving. That prevents each of us from tapping into our self-worth, so that we know at our core we are worthy of receiving, you guys. I want to clear out any past trauma, pain, resentment, anger, heartbreak that is stuck in your physical body due to past experiences that were mirroring your unworthiness issues, guys. Because you don't realize as a child, if anyone told you at any point, ew, that was ugly that you made that art, or whatever happened, bam, there's a belief. Okay, I'm not good at art. Ooh, I'm not worthy. You know what I mean? Those little things. And then you carry it on. You're like, why does this keep showing up in different ways, right? So let's clear all that out, okay? Because no, you are worthy just as you are.
Beautiful. I also want to piggyback on that. Creator wants us to download creativity, right?
Yeah.
Our new creativity. Not like that, it doesn't necessarily even have to be like baking or crafts or anything like that. Creativity is, it can be a business. It can be a new idea. Just whatever is like this, where you're in the flow and enjoy. Creative can be going outside and swinging on a swing, y'all.
Hello, I love that.
Or finger painting. Like 35 and finger painting.
Child work.
You're welcome.
Hello, inner child.
So let's get Creator's definition of that for everybody on an individual basis.
Yes.
Whether that's tarot reading for Belle, and maybe that's baking for me, or maybe that's channeling Creator's insight for both of us.
Yeah, and you might be saying, like, how do I know? Guys, you know because of that little butterfly feeling in your stomach, okay? What lights you up?
Yeah.
What literally leaves a smile on your face? I don't care if it's, like we said earlier, making a pot of tea. Like, my face routine at night, I got my new washes and stuff. I literally have a smile on my face. Dancing it out, shaking shit off. Smile to my face. That's creativity, babe. Whatever makes you feel good is God, creator, universe saying, that feels good for a reason. Follow that. Hello.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And on that note, I want to change what prevents us from being in tune with or in alignment with our creativity. And changing also what obligates us to be stuck in our humanness at our detriment, right? And then I also want to change what prevents us from discovering creativity. Belle is so good about reminding me, y'all, like, all right, you have this story that you aren't creative, right? Because someone did tell me when I was little that my art sucked, which it was very traumatic for me. So I've been discovering it, right? Like, I never thought about it, but getting in the kitchen and chopping vegetables and creating food is creative. Talking to Belle and doing theta is creative. Going outside and jumping around gets my creativity flowing. I do Kundalini yoga. That's creative. It's whatever that looks like for you, and I want to change what obligates us to have that story about us being not creative, and then I want to change what prevents us from discovering that stuff, that juiciness in life, y'all.
Yes, for you.
Yes, that joy, like that alignment. Maybe creativity for you just looks like jumping on a training online about herbs, right?
Hello.
Like, whatever it looks like, collecting crystals.
Yeah, there is no wrong, guys.
Absolutely. And let's okay.
Hello.
She just opened a big door.
My bad.
No, you're good.
My good.
So, I just want to change what obligates us to look at life as black or white, good or bad. Y'all, life is about experience.
Hello.
It's not bad or good, success or failure. It's
no such
evolution.
thing.
It's a journey.
Right.
You're simply discovering yourself.
Yes.
What you love. What you come back to. Like, hey, what am I getting rid of that I was taught as a child that doesn't resonate with me anymore? Well, I know that I love to be in, like, bohemian stuff now, like this frilly frock, and I used to wear, like, sweaters and, like, turtlenecks.
She said sweater. Like that she was knitting them herself, you guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I used to wear those, guys, and I thought that's what served me, but it was what was taught to me.
And it can change at any moment, too.
It's always going to change.
Right.
That's
like,
the great thing about you.
Yes.
You are going to change and evolve.
We are fluid beings. I think we're learning that more and more now, and society's catching on. Look, what is gender? What is all this? We're fluid human beings. We're meant to evolve and change.
Absolutely. So I want to change any obligation to self-judge in that process.
Yes.
To judge yourself or each other. To like look at it as negative or black or white. There is no right or wrong. It's just your experience, right? So I want to undo a neural pathway in the brain related to right or wrong, success or failure. It's very robot-y, like black or white.
Right or left.
Yeah.
No.
And then let's open a new neural pathway and give you any new technology that Creator wants to give you individually around what's good for you. And then I also want to get Creator's download of compassion for your fellow humans. That you can have compassion for someone who's non-binary. That you can have compassion for someone who has pink hair. Or someone who has brown hair or balayage. Like, it doesn't matter, guys. That's just someone's experience. And the time that we judge people is the time that we separate ourselves from people.
Absolutely.
Let's also change what obligates us to separate each other or separate ourselves from each other based on any external identifying factors.
Hello.
Ooh, my guys are like coming in right now, like, yes, queen.
Yeah.
Let's forgive ourselves for any time that we did that. Let's undo a neural pathway in our brain where separatism is concerned as a child of protection or to protect ourselves. That is from way back in the day when we were in tribes, and we don't need that anymore.
Nope.
And then let's change what prevents us from moving forward in oneness, in the collective good.
Yeah.
Still having boundaries for yourself.
Right.
But just being open and accepting and loving to your fellow humans, guys. That's the way that seeing their divinity. Let's get Creator's definition of that.
Yeah.
That seeing others' divinity. And let's change what prevents you from seeing the divinity in yourself and then seeing the divinity in others, right?
Right, because guys, it really does all start within. This is the only way that you're able to project hate or judgment on others is if you are secretly, I say secretly, you know it's there, doing it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
If you have love and light in your heart and you're really learning to love yourself, I promise on everything, it's going to project into your external reality. You're going to feel that way about others, okay?
Yeah.
And guys, whether you're aware of it or not, you know, I like to remind people astrology and all the things going on is like a reader I follow says this. It's like a big pool of energies. You're swimming in them whether you're aware of it or not. In that same sense, we're all energetically connected. And once you realize that, you realize that everything I do to myself, I do to others, and vice versa. That's a great reminder for me constantly. When, girl, because you think I don't get frustrated driving and someone cuts me off, you know, the side of me comes out, but I have to remind myself, they're probably just having a bad day. Or even if they're not, I'm going to tell myself that so I can remain, you know?
Yeah.
Because where does that get anybody? I like to constantly remind myself that I'm connected to everything, person, experience that I come across, right?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And let's change what obligates us to take other people's stuff personally.
Yes.
Guys, part of this journey and something that's been so freeing for Sarah and I, we talk about this all the time, is like other people's shit is not our own.
It's not.
Like our parents, our siblings, and it gives like it's healed our relationship tremendously, y'all.
Absolutely.
Like to know like, man, Nikki's having a really shitty day. That's not my stuff, but I can still hold space for her and support her in whatever way. Or maybe you choose not to if she needs a day with boundaries, right? Like it's other people's stuff is not our stuff. Yeah. And we're told so often when we're young that it is, right? Yeah. Especially if you're blood family. Oh, like blood is for life.
Yeah.
No,
like
yeah, like we are sovereign beings. I don't take on stuff from my sister. She doesn't take on stuff from me, and we used to, and it murkied our relationship.
Yeah.
So
we had to work through codependency for sure. Okay.
Next week, y'all, is going to be on codependency and empowered hour, by the way. So she just shouted out that.
My bad.
Thank you.
My good.
My good. It's going to be our new hashtag. My good.
Yes.
But yeah, let's just change what prevents us to interact in any type of relationship in a codependent manner. Yeah. I'd like to get Crater's definition of codependency, and then also interdependency, and then independence.
Yes.
So that, and I want discernment on all those, so that we know, are we being codependent? Are we being interdependent, where we can enact with people, but we're sovereign beings? Yeah. Or are we being independent, right? Yeah. And
that reminds me, you guys, this takes an incredible amount of self-accountability. It's a very hard part of this journey to be like, oh, every single thing that has happened in my life, it comes back to me, right? Ooh. Whether it's a belief, whether it's anything, an experience, and even the very traumatic ones, you guys, I'm right there with you. So let's remove the free-floating memory from the original event that prevents us from having self-accountability without judgment, okay? That's the key, you guys, because saying I'm taking accountability doesn't mean you got to beat yourself up about it for the next 5 months because of what you went through, babe. We're learning. Remember, this is a learning experience, so keep that in mind.
Y'all, and this is beautiful. Stuff just segues between us, and I love that so much. It's so divine.
Me too.
I want to change what obligates us to be stuck in the past. Like, because we're purging so much from our past, right? And like who we used to be and coming into this new era, there can be a tendency, and I know I'm so guilty of this in my humanness, y'all, to be like nostalgic about the past, or to like beat myself up. Like, why was I with that person? He disrespected me, and I would never be, you know, in that same relationship. Like even today, like that happened to me. And so I pulled some cards and I was like, nope. Like it was a life lesson. Like life's happening for me, not to me. What can I learn from this, right? And some deeper stuff, guys, needed to be healed. So I did theta and I danced it out and moved the energy and I cleared it. Like your life experiences are not a life sentence. And so I want to change what obligates us to see life experiences as life sentences. It's just evolution. All the stuff that Belle and I have been through, we can now share with you guys. And maybe it's exactly what you need to hear today to get you through something in life, right? That's how we come together as that community. Is sharing and caring and love and just being authentic with each other. Having a shitty day. Raging on the floor.
I do it.
Like, yes.
Yeah, I like to always use this saying, if you watch my videos, it's always evolve or repeat, you guys. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just where you're at in your journey. Okay, I've repeated a lot of times on a certain situation over and over, but it's okay. I have grown every single time.
Same.
And there's always evolve or repeat. So know that the universe is showing you something always. Oops, something there still needs to be healed. So I'm going to show you this situation and it's going to trigger something. Yeah. Am I going to evolve or repeat from it, right? Again, neither is right or wrong, but you always have the option, okay?
I want to get creators' definition and downloads of evolve or repeat. I want to change what prevents us from knowing, seeing, and believing that we always have a choice point in life. I want to change what prevents us from stepping back when we're triggered, observing, feeling out the emotions, and then coming back to it and handling it, right? Yes. Because sometimes when we're in that emotion, we can just do the same thing. React. Yep. Freak out.
Yep.
I want to change what obligates us to freak out or react, right?
Yes.
And then I want to change what prevents us from moving forward in a way that is evolving us and in our highest and best good. Yeah. So if you guys want that, just say yes out loud.
Yes.
Yay. Yes, Debria.
Stop.
Is there anything else that you feel called to say, my love?
No, you guys, I'm so grateful to be here with you all, with my beautiful human sister right here. I love her so much. I'm so, so, so grateful that we got to share this moment with you guys. I'm hoping we're all feeling super empowered. I know I am. I'm about to go fuck some shit up with this pink hair, y'all. Okay, excuse my language, but not.
Heard.
But yeah, again, I'm so grateful. If you have any questions, concerns, any of this resonates, and you really want to reach out, please, the door's open. I'm sure this is her platform, so I'm gonna back off real quick. Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna spotlight her. So we're gonna leave all of Moon Mama's stuff below. Yeah. She has an IG. She's amazing to follow. She does card readings all the time. She does this awesome energy of the day that's in her stories, and she'll kind of like give you just kind of some insight and awareness into your day, which is really awesome for navigating it, because it just kind of gives, you're like, oh wow, a lot of energies are heavy today, so I'm just gonna be easy and I'm not alone. Right. She also has a YouTube channel that's awesome where she does her videos.
Yes. So
you can contact her through either platform. She does readings, tarot, just amazing intuitive services, y'all. Like this is besides myself, this is my best healer. So you're welcome. I'm gonna leave her stuff below. Feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out to her or me if we can support you in any way.
Please.
I guarantee you this won't be the last podcast or empowered hour that she does, because she's my favorite person and we have so much fun together.
Same.
So join us again next week, where I'll be doing something on codependency.
Ooh, girl,
still fleshing out the details.
There. Yes, I will.
But I'm sure I'm going to invite Belle for many more of these. So please tune in Thursdays from 11 to 12 Central Time. We are sending you guys so much love and light. Thank you for listening. We love you. Comment below if you have any, revelations or anything you want to share, anything that came up for you. We love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.